Hello, everybody. We are doing book club today because it's Friday. Don't miss a book club. Oh no. We are, excuse me, on chapters 10 and 11 of Keith Callahan's book, Built to Last. Last week was convention. It was absolutely incredible. We skipped a week for that reason. We're talking about Keith Callahan's Built to Last mentorship system. You guys, you need this book if you want to be a jewel, if you want to find your leaders and develop leaders. Okay. Also, he has extra resources for those people who have this book on his website that are incredible. We're also talking about building trust in chapter 11, and I just feel like these two chapters meld together so easily. Brenda, did you want to start us off since you are driving?
Yeah, I just realized I'm not on mute. I went to hit unmute and I'm not. No, I loved what you said. I agree. This book to me is just absolutely crucial for anyone who wants to go all the way with this business, like change your family life type of income. Hi, Christine. Good to see you. Or Christy, there we are. But you have to fully understand that it's something that you cannot do on your own, that's the beauty and the whole structure of network marketing is helping others grow their business too. And it's that teamwork aspect that makes the magic. So the gifts in here, that's what it's all focused on, is finding those 5 leaders. And I just love that you mentioned that, because bottom line, if I had to summarize this book, it's the 101 of truly doing network marketing the right way for a legacy business. Like, a lot of people get in it for paying for the products, for the 500 or the 1,000 a month. And that's great. That's all wonderful money. But what network marketing is known for is the way we can actually have financial freedom, as opposed to going to college and getting a degree or whatever are the other ways to do that. And so this is where it's at. And that's why I get so excited about it, because it works. I know from my own experience, this is how it has to be done. So I love the way he focuses on these 2 chapters that we're doing today and tomorrow. I mean, today, the 2 chapters, 10 and 11 is what I meant to say. The focus is so much on building that relationship and that trust with your people. People come on, we want to inspire them, and then we want them to go ahead and be self-driven. That's the ideal. Like, that's what we want, trying to find those self-driven people. But why did they join you in the first place? Probably has a lot to do with you. And they want to have that trust with you for you to show them the way. And so without that, they lose hope. They get distracted. They just feel like, I'm not sure what to do if you aren't there guiding them, being their leader. So that's what I see. I would summarize these 2 chapters as building that relationship and that trust with your.
I agree. I mean, when I joined Plexus in 2016, and tell me about you, Brenda, when you joined, were you thinking, oh, here I am, I'm here to learn how to be a professional mentor? No, I mean, I was dealing with depression and bloating and headaches, and I got on the products and kind of accidentally made some money. I mean, not accidentally. A few of my friends and family trusted me. That's a big deal, right? When somebody trusts you. But as I've gone along, wow, I don't believe I would have stayed with it had it not have been for those little voices every once in a while, even, that were telling me, I believe in you. Oh, I know you can do it. I would cling to those things. You guys, if people quit too soon, I am telling you, I believe it is because they don't believe anyone can even help them. They've gotten to such a place of belief that not only can they not do it, can they not transform and change and grow, but they actually believe deep down, there's nobody that can help somebody like me. And that is just a flat out lie. So how amazing that we have this. I'm just going to say it's like a precious gift and a superpower almost, to think that we could help someone stay the course and become a strong leader and change their family's life forever. Not just their families, but remember, 7 generations down the line. This is way bigger than we realize. I personally love, and we're going to open this up for discussion really soon here because we want to hear from you guys. It is super important to hear your thoughts. I love how practical he gets and how he's like, well, at the very beginning of your business, you'll probably spend around 1 day a week focusing on those business builders of yours, focusing primarily on your leaders. You're not scrolling, you're not making posts that day. You are pouring in, you're thinking of them. You are getting ready to cast vision, and how he is getting on calls with his leaders regularly. And at the end, having them tell him every time what their vision is for their family and for this business. He has them speak it over and over. I will tell you, I took a million notes in this book. This was very convicting to me. Just because I'm a diamond does not mean I have everything together. Let me tell you, holy moly, I'm looking in my planner like, I got to get some calls going on here, and I got to ask for some permission to speak into some people's life and continue growing in relationship with me, right?
I don't know if I'm coming through well. I wanted to say I might cut off some here in the next while, so I'll let you guys have your open discussion. But something you said there about, oh, I forget, was it in the chapter 10? Where he said when you you ask these people questions, you get to know them, you find out everything that's going on inside their heads, and eventually what it comes down to is that surrender where they say, okay, I'm ready to do whatever it takes. And I have heard that from some of you guys here, and it just makes me so proud because I recognize that because I came to that point too. And I'm sure Bridget can identify, and that's why we are where we are. So super excited for any of you guys who have found that surrender.
I love that. It does come down to that. That it's that decision, right? We decide to go silver. We decide to become a personal mentor and find those leaders. And then the action does flow from that belief that we can. And then having those sweet leaders and sidelines along us that you are surrounding yourself with, people who are longing to grow, people who are not complaining all the time. I feel like this is more of a relationship business than I've even ever imagined. I mean, we've been told that for so many years, but who you surround yourself with matters. Who you are listening to. Are you listening to a lot of complainers right now in your life? Be a blessing to them. Pray for them. Send them off. And then make sure that you are linking up with people who are running, okay? Who are running too. Christy, were you able to read these 2 chapters? I know we got a little wiggity with convention. It might have been 2 weeks ago that you read this.
Yeah, I finished the book on the plane. I finished 2 books on the plane. This one was so good. I actually highlighted the first section in chapter 10 with my highlighter. I wrote all of this. When he talks about having upfront understanding with the people that you mentor, I thought was so beautiful because very much so I've taken the idea of like raising leaders is almost like an extreme idea of it would be like, almost like I want to be your assistant. I want you to have the spotlight and I want to support you and give you the tools that you need and da da da. But this really shifted that mindset for me of no, no, no. Like when they're starting out, like it is my job to lead, not drag, not pull, but to lead them. And so this was just like, oh, this clicked for me. And I loved how he spelled out, well, no, it's not, I think maybe this is chapter 11. I've been hopping on the phone all week. All week, I've had coaching calls. I've had a call last night with a couple of my gals, and they're running. Like, this is amazing. And I have one tomorrow and one on Tuesday. And it's great. It's great. But I loved how he spelled out when you have these calls, 5 minutes of connection and then transition back into the business. That has always been hard for me because it's like, yeah, this is the business of relationship. Tell me about your fam, this, that. And so just having somebody like this spell it out, do 5 minutes, limit yourself, and then transition into the business was really, really helpful for me. The surrender of control, highlighted that part too. That was really good. And I think I walked away from convention. Y'all have seen my posts on vision, something that I'm really, it's sitting deep with me. But when he says painting the vision is about getting people to see themselves, not as they are, but as they can be, has been something so fun to hop on the phone with these people and just like, okay, this is where you're at, but where, like, if you could close your eyes and actually like envision where do you want to be, it's super, super cool. So I don't know. I love this. And I feel like this is the handbook that I'm going to read a couple times a year because it's such a simple read. It's so easy, but it is impactful. So, yeah, I think that those are my takeaways. Those are my big things.
I love that, Christy. And I love that you are at convention. You know, when they say leaders are made at events, leaders are made at convention. I will say when I got to sit by Brenda as gold, senior gold in the front with the diamonds, she looked over at me at one point and just said something to the effect of, "So can you see yourself up here?" And it was like, yes, I can. But it was literally at those moments where I had like life-changing decisions happening right there. Right there. That is somebody speaking life into you where you can feel that next step. Get around those people. I'm going to make mention of something because I get messages in my inbox from people off of other teams, sometimes complaining about an upline or wanting to move teams, or, you know, every once in a while you just get those messages. I'm not trying to move us off into this negative space. I am saying that, you know what my response is to them usually is like, what are you doing for your business right now? Are you running hard? Are you showing up on all of their calls? Are you showing them that you are going somewhere? Because they're probably running with their runners. So make yourself known. Get into your IPAs, start telling them what you're doing. And guess what? Most likely they're going to want to match your efforts, because what does Keith Callahan say here, which I think is just tippity top notch. It's what Christina was mentioning about not having to drag people. What a relief. If you walk, I'll walk. If you run, I'll run. If you doing nothing, I'm going to do nothing. Like, this is a special relationship and I'm going somewhere and I want to bring you, right? So very empowering, if I do say so myself. Hi, Kathy. It's good to see you. Were you able to read these chapters or listen to any of them? Do you have any feedback this morning for us?
No, I'm sorry. My husband and I were gone the last couple of weeks on a vacation, and so I have not. But I wanted to hop on and see what you had to say before I have a chance to read it.
I cannot wait for you to read it. These chapters are so quick. I feel like you can read one chapter in 10 minutes, and I am not a speed reader. So highly recommend. Okay, I think we should move into this building trust too. In chapter 11, we have to be patient. Number one, I was pondering this, and this can take a little bit of time before we pop into more of a regular meeting space with our downline. And so I want to talk about that. What has built trust with your uplines above you? Any thoughts on that? And I love just this first quote at the beginning of chapter 11. It says, leaders should strive for authenticity over perfection. And that is so encouraging to me. You know, as leaders, we want to show you what's ahead for you and how wonderful it is. But I have to make sure that I am not making this sound like it is a complete cakewalk and I did not hit 10 million roadblocks, that I had to use massive solution finding skills, right, to move through. So I'm still working on that. What for you, what builds trust in your relationships, whether it be with your uplines or your downlines? Anyone feel like sharing? Mrs. Shaw, it's good to see you. I hate to put
Well,
people. Oh, Kathy.
I mean, definitely vulnerability, just being, honest and, I mean, having that personal relationship too, obviously, but, I mean, I guess that's what when you're touching like at a heart basis, that's going to build that kind of trust.
Yes, absolutely. Anybody else have anything to add?
I think for me, knowing where people are. So if they're showing up and running, like knowing like this is what I'm after when they've shared like their goals or they're running for something, that's really encouraging. But also like just knowing, hey, I'm in a really overwhelming season. I'm doing my best. Like if you want to be praying for me, I feel like that really builds a lot of deep trust. And then also as like a downline, it's like that kind of lights my fire where it's like, I want to see my upline succeed. So I'm going to be like, I'm going to keep working hard, but I have a little extra oomph because I want to see you get to your goal despite that things are really hard. So
That's really good, Christy. I feel like sometimes an upline can feel like, oh, I don't want my team to know my next goal because they're going to think I'm all focused on myself. No, no, our teams need to know that they are a part of our journey 100%, and that we cannot do this without them. Number one. Number two, we want them to emulate us one day and serve their downline. And so that their downline knows they are a part of something so much bigger. I remember someone under Brenda, her name was Jen, and she was going emerald. And I was, I mean, a silver or gold. Pretty sure I had hit gold by that point in time, but very new to the company. And I was told, do you have anybody that you can bring on? Because she is so close to emerald. They're about to get this new car. They have so many kids. And I was like, sure, I can find someone. I know I can. Oh my goodness, how amazing that I was able to grow my business further than I thought I could that month and bless so many other uplines in the process. I mean, what an incredible opportunity this truly is to make an impact in so many different areas just by recruiting somebody even. Unbelievable. Kathy, you're still unmuted. Do you have more to say too?
Nope, sorry.
I was like, I just keep going, but oh no, I'm seeing that she's still unmuted. Sometimes that's the sign. It's the Zoom sign. What
I
about,
have one.
oh, yes, please.
Sorry. I think it's super important too when you have like an upline who sees you, like sees that you're not showing up, notices difference in your posting, like personal things too. I think that is a huge thing for me, like for my upline, and my upline does fantastic with all of that. So I try and remember that for myself, being a leader, make sure I'm noticing a change in my downline leaders as well. Like whether it's, okay, well, you post great all the time and now it's like, something's off. I think that's a huge trust thing there for me.
I would agree. That is so big. And in chapter 10, how he's talking about every day I am thinking of my leaders at some point and checking in with them in some way. Like they're always right there with him. I think that it's easier if we have that list before us and get into the habit of that, of seeing those ups and downs and, oh, I didn't see you in stories for a couple days. That's not like you. How are things? I think that's amazing. So good. I'm thinking about our VIPs because we were told something in the Diamond meeting. I believe it was by Gene Tips. And he said it takes around 57 to 58 days for a VIP to share for the first time. So if somebody is just ordering 1 month and then they're gone, oh my goodness, we missed this amazing moment to potentially help them share. But I mean, hello, also get stronger results in our products and also to grow some trust and an actual sweet relationship that might turn into a long-term business building relationship that this person doesn't even realize that they need yet. So, while this is for our leaders that are showing up now of all different levels, some that might be showing up inconsistently or consistently, right? There are leaders, we care about them. If you are wanting to find and develop more leaders, they might be hidden in your back office. And it might mean getting on a Zoom and talking about products and asking about their family that week. I mean, who even does that these days? It's rare for anybody to get on the phone or get on Zoom to just hang out. Building that trust, I think in 2024 is going to take a little bit more time and intention from all of us. Are we ready to do it? Jennifer looks like she's in paradise, like on some beach somewhere. Oh, what a relief it is to share with an upline or a sideline what you're really struggling with. You know, sometimes getting it out, speaking it out, and having somebody address those with you, pray with you, check in again in the days forward, point you to a book, point you to a podcast, and hold on to you while you're going through those times, because those feelings of quitting can be very, very strong. Do not quit on a hard day. And I will tell you, I went through a season where those hard days were months. It went months, and I was like, I'm waiting for a good day so I can potentially quit. But guess what? When the good day comes and you see the win, oh, that's funny. Somehow I don't want to quit no more, right? When your points are going backwards, you might want to quit. When your points are starting to move forward, or you have hope and a game plan, you have the hope to continue forward every time.
I love the whole thing of setting up expectations with your people. I think that's one of the ways to build trust. And it's something I've added kind of new in a new way to my initial like phone calls with people or those who want to work. Besides, I just did a lot of questions, asking questions and then giving a few tips or whatever. But I'm like, I'm going to put more of this expectation aspect in it, because what that does is not only do they have something to gauge things off of, like, oh, she said it's probably going to be this way. And she said she's not going to be checking in with me every day. She's going to match my energy. You know, they know this is what's to be expected. But there's also the whole thing of, it kind of gives you permission then, if you've talked about these things, to bring them up later when someone, which has happened to me multiple times recently, oh, life just got busy. Live, oh, shocker, interesting. That just never happens to most of us. You know, we diamonds know nothing about that, but it's an easy excuse for a lot of people. But if we've talked about it, remember we had that discussion where we talked about sometimes you just have to push through, you have to show up, you have to find those nooks and crannies in your day or whatever. That's just something that I am really deciding I'm changing up, to be a little more upfront with those expectations.
I think it's beautiful, like you said, for them, and it's beautiful for the upline as well, for the mentor, because then you don't have this false sense of responsibility over something that you aren't responsible for, right? You're like, you show up, I show up. That's how this works. We have to adult in this, and there's only so much I can provide accountability and direction forward. We've got to link up together. It really is a very precious friendship when you think about it. And I love that he's like, you know, your business partners first, your friends second. And I think within that business partner relationship, if you're growing in that mentorship area, you're going to turn into friends alongside of it. How can you not, when you're sharing the real deal of your day and your heart? I love that he says at the very end of chapter 11, he says, lovingly speak the truth to the people you mentor. I know for me, I still long for that, you guys. I long for someone to lovingly speak the truth to me. Do you know how hard it is to find that? what a blessing to be that for someone. He says, don't be afraid they're going to leave. If they leave, they weren't the right ones. If they are the right ones, when you speak truth into their lives, they will receive what you offer and grow. So we receive everybody in, but we have to, with the 24 hours that we have in our days, all of us, our main time has to go to those leaders who are showing up, running, or matching the energy, right? Anybody here that's like, ooh, I'm changing something this week, or I'm going to an upline and setting up regular calls. I know for me, I'm going through my list. Like, I got to get these on the calendar and probably reestablish some expectations all over again, right? It's never a bad time to start over.
So here's a question for you. You have my brain going. So the ones like, so you set expectations for your leaders, your downlines. What if they don't meet those expectations? Like, do you have a talk with them?
I think it would kind of, I know for me, I am wanting to encourage them in their goals and how they want to work this. So it's not me talking them into something different. It's, what do you want out of this? If you don't want to be on regular book clubs or team calls, that is totally fine. But if I see you constantly asking me why you're not growing, or like, I need you to get on a call with me, I'm going to be like, well, let me look at my schedule. Let me see where I can put you in. And it might not be like the very next call I can fit in, because there are probably others who have been showing up and proving that they're ready to run. So, because we have to prioritize our time too, right? All of us have that same 24 hours in a day. What about you, Brenda?
Well, one thing I've done when I do coaching calls is I'm taking notes. So I'm like, writing down things that they said, so I can refer to that the next time. The next time we have the call, the next time they have an excuse, I can be like, well, remember, this is what you said. And I'm doing that currently with a couple girls, where when I check with them, I literally will reply to an old comment where they said something like, this is my goal. And I reply to that and tell me about how that's going, what the conversation's looking like right now, or whatever. So I just think that learning to use their words and their commitments it's on them. They said they want to do this, right?
Yes. And then you just look for that action, those little feet moving. Because there's a lot of talk, and we get it. We all do it. We have these big ideas and big goals. And then when it comes down to it, are we ready to move our feet? So yeah, as leaders, hopefully we can empower our people to see what is holding them back. I feel like that is always my desire when I'm praying for my leaders. I'm like, God, please give me wisdom as they're sharing, for me to point it out, be like, I think that's it. That's part of the root of your issue. Let's nail down this thing so we can move through it and get you firing again on all cylinders.
Yeah, like his last point here, say what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. That is actually hard for me. That does not come natural for me. I'm more of a cheerleader. I'm not like a step on your toes, at least one-on-one. I can do that if I'm recording a training or something, if I'm just talking to some abstracts, whoever, but one-on-one, it's a little more challenging. But his action step on the end, I just really like. You guys need to do this, because he says this isn't a one-time action. You commit to following these 4 decisions, to growing into them. So I would challenge you guys to maybe print them out, write them down or something, because it's disciplines. See that word in there? Remind yourself of these disciplines until they become a part of who you are. So this would cover so much of these 2 chapters and what we need to be as leaders. Make the decision to be all in, obvious. Make the decision to be vulnerable with your leaders, and the decision to be consistent with them and honest with them.
Beautiful. How about we end right there? It's 11:30 over here, and we're on the 28th of the month. That was some good stuff. And now we got to go close out our month, you guys. We have 2.5 full days. That is like a year in network marketing. Make sure you go check out the new promos that are out, you guys, bringing on for this month. When you
A
retain.
year in network marketing. Sorry,
Yeah.
that's just distracting me a little bit here.
Yeah, it really is. We have so much time. If we keep 3 of those continuing to order in July, you're getting this Ninja Creamy for your family. What a blessing. But don't forget, you have people in your downline who haven't been ordering lately, who might need to jump on and grab some Joyome, some cleanser. You don't know what they need. So let's keep up those relationships. I'm going to end with this whole area of rapport. You guys, some people think, oh, it'll take months to build rapport and trust with people. I have not seen that to be the case. When people see that you are authentic and you care about them and you are consistent, you will grow rapport with them quite quickly. And it can happen within a couple of hours and within a couple of days. So let's go love some people. Thanks, guys.
Love it. Thank you, guys.